Hi guys, welcome back to Valor Strategy, where we share the latest in UFC and MMA news. Last Saturday, we heard the tragic news of UFC legend Stephan Bonnar's death, which shook the whole MMA UFC community. It would be a real injustice to cram this news into a newsreel, and a legend like Bonnar deserves his own special video, which we've decided to do in order to honor his legacy. We hope you like this video. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Valor Strategy. You don't want to skip a beat here. The mixed martial arts promoter revealed on Saturday that Stephan Bonnar, a UFC Hall of Famer who made this sport popular in the Ultimate Fighter reality show's Season 1 finals match, passed away on Thursday. According to a news statement from the UFC, Bonnar passed away while at work due to presumed heart issues. He was 45. Indiana-born Bonnar, who was inducted into UFC's Hall of Fame in 2013, had previously fought in the UFC in 2014 and managed an 8-6 record in 7 years with the organization. He competed in the Ultimate Fighter, the UFC's long-running reality competition series, in its inaugural season in 2005. He also made it to the competition's grand finals when he engaged Forrest Griffin in a stunning, gory bout. Griffin prevailed via decision, but it is widely believed that the highly entertaining fight's viral attention helped spread awareness of the obscure sport online and on Spike TV, which aired it. According to UFC President Dana White, Stephan Bonnar was one of the most significant fighters to ever compete in the octagon. His confrontation with Forrest Griffin altered sports history, and he will always be remembered. Fans adored him, could identify with him, and he always gave his all for them. We will miss him. The fight earned Bonnar a place in the fight wing of the UFC Hall of Fame and was hailed by the UFC as one of the greatest fights of all time, according to the UFC. As the fight progressed, Bonnar could feel the energy in the room reaching a fever pitch. The ground beneath his feet seemed to shake as the crowd stomped and cheered, and he knew that this was going to be a memorable bout. I thought, oh, this must be good, when I felt the building tremble during the second round, he later reflected. Little did Bonnar know that this fight would change the course of his career. Prior to this moment, he had simply seen mixed martial arts as a hobby, something he enjoyed doing in his spare time. But after this fight, everything changed. He became a household name, recognized and admired by fans all over the world. I never thought I'd have a career in the UFC, but everything changed overnight, he said. I became a celebrity, and even in the most remote places, people would recognize me. Bonnar went on to win 7 of his next 8 fights in the UFC, with victories over Mark Nicholas, Eric Schiefer, and Kyle Kingsbury. He also had a 2-2 record in his next 4 matches, with defeats to Rashad Evans and Griffin and victories over Nichols and Schiefer. However, Bonnar struggled in his later career, losing 3 consecutive matches to John Jones, Mark Coleman, and Krzysztof Sosinski before bouncing back with wins over Kingsbury and Igor Pokrajak. His final match for the UFC was a defeat to Anderson Silva in the main event of UFC 153. After failing a drug test, Bonnar lost his promotion and announced his retirement. He returned to the ring in 2014 to take on Tito Ortiz in Bellator, but was defeated by a split decision. In addition to his successful career as a fighter, Bonnar also made headlines outside of the cage. He spent 2 years developing his skills on the indie pro wrestling scene before competing for Impact Wrestling in 2019. He also briefly returned to the MMA scene in 2020 as Diego Sanchez's cornerman on The Ultimate Fighter 1. Tragically, Bonnar faced hardship in April 2022 when his home caught fire. Despite these challenges, Bonnar remained beloved by the MMA community for his resilience and contribution to the sport, and his passing was deeply mourned by his fellow fighters and fans. Hope here are some of Stephan's best moments from the octagon. Ahead of the tragic news, fans and fellow fighters poured their hearts out over the sudden demise. Ahead of the tragic news, fans and fellow fighters poured their hearts out over the sudden demise. No love was lost as the community came out to celebrate a man that had somewhat of a cult following in the industry. Speaking after the death, UFC's official website quoted the UFC family is saddened by the passing of UFC Hall of Famer Stephan Bonnar. We send our sincerest condolences to his family and friends. Fellow fighter Nathan Quarry was equally saddened as he took to social media to express his heartfelt condolences. Here are some of the fans of the late UFC legend were equally in shock, with many taking to Twitter after hearing the news about Bonnar's death. Here are some of the tweets where you can clearly sense the love the community had for Bonnar. Earlier this week, a video of Bonnar also came out where he talked about his health from the hospital he was admitted in.
What's up? 5 days in the hospital now. I was really out of it, just so confused and disoriented, and when I got in here 5 days ago, they asked me who the president was. I said Bush. I didn't have the year right or the month. It was pretty bad. But apparently my ammonia levels were over 200. And And when I asked the doctor if that was bad, he said usually people die at that level, and normal is 20. But levels are back down. Thought maybe it was salmonella, and he also thinks it could be Wilson's disease. So I got to collect my pee for a day. So I'm all hooked up here to the sand access machine, and it's kind of, you see the suction cups, kind of combine the acupuncture benefits with the electrostim and the TENS, so all in the one machine. I believe this technology has been around since 1990. Today's my first time using this machine. They've upgraded it a lot over the 30 years, but yes. We'll see how this treatment helps out this banged up body. Stay tuned. So as president of Team Hitiva, we signed Diego Sanchez and Wes Miller. Going to bring a lot of content to Hitiva.com, including a lot of awareness to the brain health of fighters from my generation. So look out for that. And when you get too old to fight, hey, the next best adrenaline high is racing cars, right? Sugar Ray Leonard. So, Team Hitiva, we got Wes Miller representing us today. San Felipe 250, his first race under the Team Hitiva banner. Wishing him a lot of luck. Go get him, Wes. He's a hell of a driver, and I'm happy to have him. But check out content from Wes and Diego coming up here in that Team Hitiva. Peace.
The community was clearly shocked as in the video. Bonnar claims his ammonia levels were over 200 and the doctor had said that at that level, people actually die. Even though Bonnar's ammonia levels dropped shortly after, his comments, in a way, foreshadowed his death, which happened shortly after. Here's the video. Valor Strategy sends our heartfelt condolences to the friends and family of the late and great fighter. What's your favorite moment of Stephan Bonnar in the octagon? Let us know in the comments below.